Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Mackay T Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. Before we get started here today, T, I wanted to just share a few milestones for the show to you and to our listeners. For everyone who follows us on social media, they found out last Friday was the show's 4-year anniversary, our fourth birthday. Cannot believe we've been doing this for 4 years. And in honor of that, I went back and I looked at our first episode, and 10 minutes into it, I was laughing so hard because I was awful. Oh boy, but that was so much fun just listening to that and remembering about Pretty Ricky in his white suit. It was worth. If you have time, people, please go back and listen. You can catch it on YouTube. You can look in the archives on these podcast apps. Definitely worth a listen. And also, today marks our 90th episode.
I'm pretty sure 90 is not a number people just be celebrating, Brian. Well,
I'm just saying.
While we're chilling, people.
It's not
that
really,
usually would be like 100.
Okay.
I need you to get it together.
Okay. Can I at least just say that it's the 90th and we are 10 episodes away from our 100th episode?
Yeah, people don't say that either. But okay.
T just likes to be just pessimistic about my.
When have you seen a series be like, oh, we 10 shows away from 100? Never.
I like to celebrate early, okay? Goodness gracious. Anyway, moving on from that, we got a couple of Final Fours coming up this weekend. And let's start with the ladies first.
Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first. Ooh, ladies first. Oh, no, they may not know about that rap song.
Every time T breaks in the song, I always get nervous that she's going to go over that 30-second limit before we have to start paying for this music that she starts singing. But she always comes right on time. She knocks it out right on time. But yeah, the women, Friday night, will kick off the Final Four weekend. And we have, in our first game, will be Baylor, the number 1 overall seed, against Oregon. I call it an upset because it's a 2 seed beating a 1 against Mississippi State, but realistically, Oregon destroyed Mississippi State earlier this season, and it was a very, very close game. I was upset that Mississippi State didn't move on because, as I've already said, I wanted either them or Louisville to win the national championship this year. But Oregon, at one point, was shooting almost 60% from the three-point line. If they can come in hot like that, I think they can give Baylor a run for their money because Baylor's got some bigs, just like State had some, in Kehlani Brown and Lauren Cox in the post for Baylor. But Sabrina Ionescu and that crew at Oregon, they could give some folks some trouble.
Good luck.
And on the other side of the bracket, the matchup of all time, Notre Dame and Connecticut. I always love when Gino and Muffet get together. Already coming
Didn't they have some kind of beef about her saying she wasn't hiring no men?
That's what I was just about to get into. They
oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, you fine. They as always, they have something to kind of heighten the rivalry every time they play each other, and this one is nothing short of that. Muffet McGraw was quoted as saying, and she was referring to the fact that there were, a lot of men coaching women, a lot of male coaches in the women's game, and basically she wanted more opportunities for women in those positions, and she, in no shortage of words, basically said that she was not hiring men anymore. She was
that's illegal, but go ahead.
But she just said it for that.
It's fine to do it, but it's illegal. I'm just saying, hiring practice. You can't say that. You can do that, and I understand it. and I would say I concur with her. You don't see women coaching men.
I knew her, and I agree with her point. I agree with her overall point on the situation.
I mean, you don't even see women assistant coaches. We had one at Kentucky years ago, and nobody is. You got one in the NBA. You don't see it. So why is it? And Gino was tripping. Why is it seemingly okay for the women's sport to be dominated? Because I feel like it's more men coaching women than vice versa. But you don't have do you know of a single woman, assistant or otherwise, coaching in NCAA team, even Division I, II? I don't know that they're in it because they would be talking about them.
Right. Yeah. And Gino, obviously, always the perfect, opportunistic, to be just be a thorn in Notre Dame's side. He had to throw a few jabs in a press conference related to that comment by Muffet. And also, this is totally off topic, but for everyone, I think you should need to go Google it, go YouTube it. Gino has a rant where he goes on and on about how coaches today are scared of their players.
Afraid of their players.
Well, it's worth listening to because he makes some very good points, and it's very true.
Please tell me one.
The players, not the play, and this is referring. We go back to the Tennessee, Vanna Westbrook comes out and makes comments about Holly and need the coaching change and this, that, and the other. The players are very empowered nowadays.
Brian, stop. I can't believe you are saying this. I can't believe that lady was going to get fired whether that kid said that or not.
Listen, we're not just talking about in Holly's situation. I'm just saying players today, the players have way too much power when it comes to...
How? What players? Let's clarify this, because no college kid has any power. Most college kids are scared to speak up or do anything because they are worried about losing their scholarship. And we've talked about these are year-to-year signings. They say you got a 4-year scholarship. Each year you go in and re-sign. Now, most coaches won't take the scholarship, but they can bury you deep into the bench where you won't be playing and nobody will know your name or remember that you were great. What players are we talking about, Brian?
Okay. Can I move? I'm coming from a coach's perspective. Coaches.
What players, though? I mean, what players are you afraid of? What coaches are afraid of?
Coaches are now dealing with a lot of issues where it comes from. And I'm not just talking about in the college world. I'm talking about in general.
That's what I want you, and that's why I said what players, because if you said the NBA, because then that's what I wanted you to clarify. If you said the NBA, those players, they do have the power. Because if LeBron James don't like you, you're going to lose your job, probably. They're not going to get rid of him. If David don't like you, you're going to lose your job. If Harden don't like you, yeah, they're going to get rid of the coach. But we talking about on the college level, and I don't think that he's saying majority of coaches. I need to know what coaches and what arena.
I'm also speaking. I'm not necessarily speaking. I'm not necessarily speaking at the NBA level. I'm also speaking on the high school level. The coaches are having to deal, and in college as well, having to deal with parents, having to deal with somebody not being happy on immediately as a freshman because they're not playing and giving them problems. And I've even seen coaches tweet about this where they feel like it should be a rule in college where you can't like this transfer portal that they have now that's open to just about every year.
What portal?
It's called the transfer portal, and players can jump in there and see what's out there for them. There's coaches that are out there tweeting and saying there should be a rule where freshmen, you can't be allowed to get into transfer portal until you're actually a sophomore going into your junior year, because there's way too many freshmen who come there. They might have been everything in high school coming into a situation and they don't get to play very much because they're behind other very, very good players, or someone that might be better than them, and they immediately jump in that transfer portal and then wind up messing up themselves going somewhere else to worse the same situation.
That's their job. That's their priority. Any coach that don't like their job, they get to jump into the transfer portal of looking for another job when they get good and ready. So why can't a kid do it? Coaches get to leave whenever. If they don't like the job, I'm leaving. I don't care about all the parents that I talked to and said, we're going to do whatever with your kid. Well, I don't like this job. I'm leaving. Yeah. But now the kid can't do it.
I'm looking at it from someone who's grown up in a coach's house, who has seen what, parents and, community.
That's dealing with drama. That don't mean he was, your parents or whoever was afraid of no players.
No, and he wasn't. But
that's
I'm just
dealing
saying,
with drama that come with the job, especially now. It's probably far worse than when your parents was coaching.
Most definitely.
Because of all of this social media and all these kids now know, that you can go and play in the league, and now it's a WNBA and all these professional. I ain't buying this. No coaches afraid of they players. If they was afraid of why didn't the kids? They was too scared to tell about all that craziness that was happening when the kids at Maryland got killed. I would say the players are more afraid of the coaches because they know that they got their scholarships in their hand and they playing time in their hand.
Yeah, and that's the way that it should be. But there are coaches out there who are not looking at it that way, who are actually worried that, that they don't play this person or they don't, mend this relationship. They're too busy trying to be friends.
Well, that's what come down to who you recruit.
And
if you get these kids that's drama and that need you to call them and they want you to do this and do that, and if you're not doing this and doing that, you got to know when you get them on campus, they're going to be drama filled then too.
But I mean, that's the part of Gino's speech that I really keyed in on, because he made it very, very clear he's not there to be their friends like these other coaches who are trying, basically pacify their players and not just trying to save their jobs.
Have several seats. I would rather hear this from a coach that could actually lose their job because the player. This guy, ain't no player gonna make him lose his job.
No, he's pretty much set. He's won enough to be set. So
unless there's an uprising or sexual assault scandal or something, he ain't going nowhere.
But as we turn the wheel back to Notre Dame,
I'm just saying, I'm confused. Like, I cannot think of some scenario where, I'm scared of my players. If anything, you should be worried about the system, Gino. And if any coaches that are afraid of their players, you should be worried about the system. You should be worried that you can't bring in some solid kids that's going to want to stay there and want to do the right thing and not worried about playing time and want to graduate. And if you got a 99% graduation rate, but you only win 50% of your games, the AD going to fire you. That's the thing that you should be concerned about, because then all this other stuff will be fixed. But there's too many people, even men and women, and most women have high, in whatever sport, have high graduation rate. But for a lot of these male sports, if you was doing the right thing, bringing in kids, developing solid citizens and helping them get their degrees, but they not winning, you're going to get fired. That's who you should be afraid of, the system that won't let you bring in solid people, that you don't have to worry about the drama. But okay, I'm off about it.
Well, in Gino's case, I think he's he's on the verge of feeling that same kind of tension when it comes to trying to bring in players, because for the longest time, number one recruit in the nations, they were going to UConn for a good stretch. And yeah, he just got through verbaling the number one player in the 2020 class.
So stop crying. What? Keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh no, well, but here more recently, he's really not had the top recruiting classes the last couple of years.
Well, that's good. Then show us that you can coach without the top 5 players on your team on the court.
But the reason you haven't really seen it affect him is because they're in, no offense to the American Conference, but they're in the American Conference where they just beat the devil out of every team in their conference. Because I was having this conversation with someone the other day when we were talking about UConn this year, and I said, UConn, this year's team, as currently constructed, they don't have what more recently UConn teams have had. They don't have a Maya Moore, who night in, night out is going to go in and they can dominate the game on their own if they need to. Or a Diana Taurasi, a Sue Bird. This team is one star away from being like all those other UConn teams. They just don't, and I think that's why they've been more vulnerable than ever. I think they came out against Louisville the other day and were looking to prove that sentiment wrong, because I said this before the Louisville game, and they came out, and now Louisville's best player, Asia Durr, did not have a very good game. She struggled all day long, and that was pretty much why Louisville did not advance. But UConn was on it was on a UConn level, how they've been the last couple of years, where they were hitting shots just at an unbelievable rate. Katie Lou Samuelson looks like she's finally over her ankle injury. So I think even though I'm going to pick Notre Dame to win the game, I think that's going to be a very, very good, very, very high contested game. As far as who I believe they'll play, I think Baylor, even though I believe Oregon could give them a run, I think Baylor is going to be too much. I think they're playing way too well right now. And I think Baylor and Notre Dame are going to be in the national championship game. I don't know. I don't know who to go from there. I think that's going to be a toss-up.
I don't care. I just don't want UConn to win. I'm happy that he can't get the best players all the time. For years, all them people that sat on his bench could have been at some other school helping be more parity. It was super boring all them years when you just knew UConn was going to win it. And that's why it was hard to build any new fan base unless it was because nobody wants to see if the Warriors keep winning, the NBA going to have to do something because people going to be like, okay, we tired of like, that's old. We want somebody to compete against them. Like,
right. And I agree. And that was the other part of the conversation I was having about UConn. The fact that they have not had the top recruiting class the last couple of years is making the women's game better because there's more parity. Like you said, there's more, there's a lot more of the wealth spread around the nation. It's not just centralized at one location and everybody's who's coming in second, kind of mentality. Because for a few years there, it was tournament bracket was announced. Okay, where's UConn? Now let's go see who they're gonna play because
who they gonna beat up?
Right. Yeah. So it's a lot more parity moving around the nation, and that's a good thing. And and I know I brought up Tennessee job earlier, but as far whoever gets that job, they're gonna if they can keep the recruiting classes coming in and keep the players that are there, if they can develop the ones that are there, I think they have a nice little situation to come in and win in year one.
This is the problem with what has happened with Holly, is it? Mm-hmm. We live in a culture where what have you done for me lately? I mean, I guess we've always lived in that. And most of these kids in high school don't know anything about Tennessee basketball. Like, she hasn't done enough job to make them relevant. Like, when Pat was around, people knew, oh, that's a good school to go to. Now it's UConn or Baylor or somebody, but they have not been really putting their mark on anything. So these kids, some of these born in 2000, like.
Right, and even those last few years of Pat were not, Tennessee level.
Right, so you just like, you're going to have to remind some people, kind of like the Lakers. They can fall into that, we good. We've always won championships here. We got a championship culture. That's what we're about. And you can fall into that, or you're going to have to be like, look, this is what I can do for you now. This is what I did at my other job, whoever this coach is. And then remind them of the culture and what Tennessee has done and go show them all them championships. Because most of these kids don't know who Pat Summerly is.
Well, and honestly, the kids of today don't care about going into because I worked for a year at Louisiana Tech. They have banners all over that gym, and they have a huge history. Kids don't care about that nowadays.
But how far their history out, though, Brian?
It's been a while.
Exactly.
It has, yes.
On some level, they do care because they want to say, oh, I'm going to Tennessee. When people say, where you going to college, they do want it to be a name that I can't be talking about I'm going to University of Florida International or something. They're going to be like, oh, where is that?
Well, okay, maybe
I say I'm going to UConn, I'm going to Baylor, I'm going to Notre Dame. People like, oh, they already in their mind say you're good because you're going to that school. So on some level, they do care.
My word choice was for that's not their. I just won't say it's their main reason for going to that school anymore. Like, people are not just going to Tennessee because of championships. It might be a part of it, but it's not the main reason they're going there. And I think that's why, Tennessee in women's basketball is still hanging on to relevance because of their history. I think that's the only reason they got in the tournament this year, to be honest with you.
It is. We talked about that.
We did.
Like, they didn't need to be in no tournament, but it was like, okay, we're going to wink and get them, throw them a soft one. Just because of who they are. They got in because of legacy. That was a legacy. Get in.
Oh, goodness. Are you ready to move on to the men's side?
Good luck, everybody with UConn. I don't want them to win. So tired of that.
Yes, I'm in agreement. I would love for Oregon to make to continue their run because I just love the way they play.
That would be their first one, right?
It will, and I would just love. I love the way they play.
I know Baylor Notre Dame got one.
At least men's side we have in the early game on Saturday will be Virginia against Auburn. And Auburn is still on their roll. They're still hitting shots. They beat a more together Kentucky team because P.J. Washington actually made it back for that game. Virginia is probably the best overall team in left in the Final Four, but and the way they play defense is is nice. They hold people down. Auburn is just playing at another level. If they keep going, I believe they could get to the championship game.
This is my concern for Auburn.
They don't.
They consistently try to find any way to make the game close and be on the edge of losing. That craziness that happened, was it the second round for them to go to the... Remember, the ball went out of bounds. Then they fouled a three-point shooter. Then the guy made... two and missed one, but then it went out of bounds, and they still had, and then they gave a wide open shot 3 in the corner. The guy missed, but they would have lost. And then in this last game that they played, and I watched it, and I was like, what are y'all doing? Are y'all trying to? First they started off slow, but then they got their legs under them, and then I was just like, here we go again. Y'all trying to find a way to lose this game.
Yeah, you the first game you're talking about was New Mexico State. That was the first round, because I was thinking to myself, they're gonna mess my bracket up. Losing to New Mexico State over some foolishness because they just trying to lose that.
Right. Yeah. Any kind of way that they could try to lose that game, they did it.
Yeah.
So that's my concern. But I'm cheering for the SEC, orange and blue.
Right.
Good luck, Auburn.
A War Eagle.
Yeah, War Eagle.
And
do they say Go Tigers too or something? Or they just say War Eagle? I don't know.
They do like Ole Miss and they cursing their little cheer. They were War Damn Eagle. But I'm trying to find something to say about Virginia. But they just
I can say they looked off in the tournament. In the ACC tournament, they look apparently better. I still haven't seen them because they've been on TBS or something every time. So this will be this is a 6:00 game. I can stay up that late. This will be the first game that I'll get to see of them. And they're playing better. I think Auburn can beat them also.
Yeah, and I know Auburn's going to be without the post player that tore his ACL against North Carolina.
It didn't seem to have that much effect on that last game.
It didn't at all. So I'm hoping they can continue that momentum. And like you said, going for the SEC. But on the other side of things, we have Michigan State against Texas Tech. Like I keep telling y'all,
they got one championship in 2000. So that's what you need to stop.
It's so.
Let's stop it.
But no, on some serious note, Cassius Winston.
Mama calling Clay. I call him Clay.
Let's talk about Mr. Winston. He's a baller. He's a gamer. He comes to play.
I'm gonna tell you, he the dude that you'll be at the gym and you'll be like, nah, he probably can't play because he don't really he probably tall, but if he's at a regular gym, but you'll just be like, oh, he ain't really shaped like no athlete. He ain't got a lot of muscle tone. Nothing. I always think of Paul Pierce when I see him, but then he knows how to play the game. He's not the fastest guy. He just knows how to play.
Yeah, he's not overly quick.
So
he's not fast. He's not real quick. He don't jump all that high. He gets it done. And it's like you said in your text message to me over the weekend. He's old school.
Yeah, he definitely old school.
He's fun to watch.
He can shoot. He don't just want to take threes. He'll get in there and shoot the little floater. He control the floor of the game, which a lot of point guards don't know how to do. That's one thing Auburn them need to get better at is controlling the flow of the game and understanding the time and the score. But we going backwards. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. And honestly, I when I saw them matching up against Duke in the Elite Eight, I had a feeling that they could pull that game out because Duke was trying to get beat. Duke has been trying to get beat since the second round.
Exactly. Duke has had 2 close calls. They, for all intents and purposes, they should not have lost to Dawkins' team. Because when they showed the replay, I was like, he ran over that little guard before he even got to Taco for that final foul on Taco. Most people would have called that a charge. He literally ran over the kid.
Yeah.
The ref was either too scared or too just caught up in the moment of watching a great athlete.
They're playing Texas Tech, which has everybody's favorite coaching candidate, Chris Beard, to take the next big job, but he's running out of options.
What about Tech? What you know?
I don't know a whole lot about. I watched them a couple of times, and they're opposite of Virginia, but same kind of where they have just a team, but they're more offensively gifted. Instead of where Virginia is more defensive based. Yeah, there's no real star in my mind to talk about with them, but I feel like this is going to be a very competitive game just because Coach Beard does come with a nice little game plan and his players execute it. Yeah, but I know he's the big coaching candidate out there, the big, one everyone's talking about. I don't know where he's going to go now because he's done gone so far that all these jobs that are open are filling up. But
how about this? Let's go. And this ain't. You said that he going so far away, he gonna go. How about Kentucky gave what's his name a lifetime? How does that work?
Contract.
How does that work?
Yes, I don't know. They better hope. Okay. They better hope that no wiretap shows up here in a few months.
It's so messy.
No, I'm being serious. They put a lot of eggs in that basket, and we're not gonna act like Calipari don't have a shady past.
But what do you do when you got a lifetime contract and you want to get rid of the person? How does that work?
That's something that's going to be interesting to see Kentucky play out if it comes to that. I don't know how you're giving out lifetime contracts at this point.
Okay.
Because I was waiting to see figures. I never saw figures. Did you see any figures on it?
I didn't see no numbers. He just don't have to worry about losing his job, basically.
Well,
I don't know how that works. But what else? Good luck with that.
Before we move on from men's basketball, anybody in Nashville know who's gonna get the Vanderbilt job? I heard it was down to Johnny Dawkins and Jerry Stackhouse.
Well, if that's the case, Johnny Dawkins will get it. Like, what the world? What Stackhouse been coaching?
Stackhouse has been an assistant. He was an assistant with the Raptors, and I think he coached their G League team.
Yeah, no.
And in the last couple,
I would take Johnny Dawkins.
Last couple of years, he's been assistant with the Grizzlies.
I would take Johnny.
Oh, me too, coaching wise, because Stackhouse has no college experience. And
I don't know, right? And then you got to recruit.
You need an established coach. Now, it used to not be this way in SEC for men's basketball, but nowadays, the way the coaches are in SEC now, they need an established coach.
You need an established coach. You need a coach that's going to be able to bring in kids that's going to be able to get in, number one, and succeed.
And it's not like, and I'm gonna regret doing this because I'm misinformed, honestly, because I really don't know where he's from. But bringing in a Jerry Stackhouse to Vanderbilt, it's not like what Memphis did by bringing in Penny Hardaway to them.
Well, he legacy, like
he has an actual background and it's worked out because they got the number one recruit and they got the best kid out of Mississippi, and the number one recruit just happened to be from Memphis, so he's already working out in his favor on that. You just don't know that Stackhouse could do that for a team in Nashville like Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt, you're more relying on kids that are more academically inclined.
Right, you gotta bring in. They gotta be a little bright. You ain't gonna get them in just because they can play.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't even know where Stackhouse is from. I know where he went to college, and a lot of people out there who are saying he could be in the running. Whenever Roy Williams decides to hang it up, which I just don't. I think there will be way too many people trying to get that job when it comes up. Yeah.
Well, just keep paying your dues, Stackhouse. I mean, you might get this job, but just keep paying your dues. You'll find something.
Yeah, something gonna work out.
Because Penny worked in middle school or whatever for a while. Then he went to high school, so he worked up to that. He didn't just get that because he was the NBA guy and he was in the community. He went there, so all of those things were helpful for him.
And he run that good AAU circuit in Memphis. He's running that thing for a few years now. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see because Alabama just hired the guy from Buffalo who took over for Bobby Hurley, who I think is for all everything he's done since Hurley left to go to Arizona State, he kept Buffalo as a contender. So he must know a little basketball.
Speaking of, okay, we finished. Can we transition to another basketball?
Yes, we can.
Have you heard about? He played it. He was with the Final Four. Juwan Howard and the Lake of Rumors.
No.
Yes, the betting people in Las Vegas must have heard something because they don't put him at the top of the betting list for might get the Laker job.
Yeah, that's out of nowhere. I've not heard that at all.
Where you been, Macaroni? Where you been? The betting world has threw this in there. I don't know what. Somebody don't heard a rumor for somewhere. He is at the top of the betting to be the coach. I don't know how these 12-1s, 9-1s, 7-1s, but he got a 4-1 on getting the job.
Oh wow!
I know 4-1 sounds like that's a good chance.
And we talking about a job that's not even open yet. Bless Luke's heart.
Luke, no.
Yeah, he knows.
He can keep saying the right things, but
the names I consistently heard was Tyronn Lue and Jason Kidd.
I was hoping Mark Jackson personally,
and that's the name on the outside that everybody wants, but hasn't actually.
But Juwan has some kind of way gotten his name in this hat,
good for
like
Juwan.
on Harry Potter. When
how he managed to run in here and be a part of her.
You watched Harry Potter, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Man, when Harry got his name in the hat, everybody was feeling some kind of way. Harry was like, I didn't do that.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Now, I don't know how Juwan Howard decided. How he jumped into Gryffindor so quickly like that, but.
I think that I didn't realize he had been. Well, I knew he was player coaching, quote unquote player.
Yeah, he was forever with the Heat.
But then he been an assistant for 6 years now.
I did not know this. Yeah,
he may be ready.
That man was in that suit up until somebody with the Heat fell to injury. Then he come right on out of Jersey.
Ain't that hilarious?
Yes.
I think the good thing is if this is true is that he has a relationship with LeBron. He's been. He's seen the madness that's around him. He's seen what Spoelstra went through. He's seen how LeBron's team operates. So like he won't be going into it like some of these other coaches. Like he's seen it.
Well, yeah, and he knows the NBA is a certain way, and he knows how to handle that. Because when he was that, like you said, the quote unquote player coach, I mean, he was like a mentor, basically. I mean, that's basically why he was getting his paycheck, to be a mentor to the young guys.
So I don't know. He might not be a bad hire. I think this is as I'm thinking about it. Part of Luke's problem is, did he make any changes when Magic advised him to do something with his assistants? Did we ever hear that he?
Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything that was changed.
And so when the president say, "Hey, you might want to look at your staff,"
especially a president where you can look up and see his jersey in the rafters.
And 5 championship.
You might want to. You might want to do what he asked. I'm just saying.
Think that's gonna bode well for him. That I told you we need a new staff, and you just was like, because that's why a lot of coaches keep their job. Honestly, like as long as they do, they have this big coaching change, and they be like, okay, you either got to get new coaches, and so you see this like, oh, they get 3 new coaches, but then they usually wind up losing their job anyway. He might could have stayed his job for a little longer. Yeah. Now, we saying this like we know he got fired, but...
Speaking of lifetime contracts, didn't Magic sign a lifetime Laker contract at one point in his life?
Say again?
Didn't Magic sign a Laker lifetime contract early on in his career?
The Magic did that, yes, because that's when he got that whatever $1 million, which was unheard of.
Yes. Jerry Buss took care of him.
Because Buss was like, yeah, I got to keep this guy.
Very good. All right. If we're done talking about basketball, let's get into it. We brought it in last week, very unpreparedly, but got a lot of good response about it. A lot of people throwing some good ideas out there, but one gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
You want to throw one of yours out there for this week?
I thought we was just gonna do yours.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay, we can.
I can, because this one will make you mad.
Both of mine are food related, so let me do one of mine.
Because mine's not.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. What's yours?
And this is one gotta go, and it might be two gotta go, but I think I'm doing. I'm being too fast. Pause.
Yeah. Pause. So I gotta put something in there. I gotta throw one out there. This is for brother Michael. This is for Michael. Yes. So I called T, or T called me. I missed her call yesterday. I called her back. She said, "Hang on, I got Michael, which is her brother, on the other line. I'm going to bring you in. We talking about this one gotta go stuff." And her exact words before she flipped over to bring Michael in, she said, "He keeps trying to put rules on it. He keeps trying to change the rules, put rules on this, that, and the other." And then what did T just do? It might be one gotta go, might be two gotta go.
Well, because when I play the game and it's my game, then we get to change the rules. It's just like when it's my ball, I get to take it. If y'all don't want to play by my rules, then I'll just take my ball and go home. That's what we're doing right now. If it's not clear to you how this is working.
Okay, well, good. Okay. What's yours?
One gotta go, maybe two. Toy Stories, Despicable Me, Cars, Shrek, Ice Age, Kung Fu Panda.
I see why you said two now.
I made the list longer.
I can't give up Cars because my nephew would go nuts. I like Shrek, so I'm not throwing Shrek out. Again, my youngins would not like it if the Minions were no more, so Despicable Me got to stay. So I'm probably gonna get rid of, I don't know, every time they do a new Ice Age, I like it, so I can't get rid of Ice Age. And the other one was what'd you say?
Kung Fu Panda and Shrek.
Kung Fu Panda probably got to go.
Oh.
And it's only because the other ones have emotional attachments with me.
I could give up Kung Fu Panda or Shrek. That's why I said maybe two.
Yeah, Shrek would be my next one. So yeah,
I ain't attached to either of those. But if I had to not watch one or have ever seen one, it would probably be Kung Fu Panda, because Shrek is fairly funny, and the one when the cookies, the cookie,
the gingerbread man.
Yes, the gingerbread man thing. Yes, I just can't.
Oh my goodness.
But Toy Story was always staying. Despicable, I love the Despicables. They were, and Cars were always staying. I mean, I could give up Ice Age if I had to, but
I didn't even say Toy Story, but yeah, Toy Story ain't
those
going
three would have had to stay. Now, if they keep going the way they're going, they need to stop after this fourth one. I'm mad that they're doing the fourth one, but they need to go ahead and stop. Not that they're listening to me. But.
I need more trailers, because the trailers that we've seen so far, I'm not really interested in seeing the movie. And I hate that. But, yeah. So
hold on, we had another one from last time that we didn't do. Okay, you do yours, and then we're going to do that one.
Okay, here's my first one. It's One Gotta Go, and it's a snack edition. Chocolate. Okay, so we got M&M's, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Snickers, or Kit Kat.
I don't eat candy bars with you like most people. Anyway,
right.
But when I did, I guess I would give up the Kit Kat.
Okay, see, I was gonna say the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and then Kit Kat would have been my next choice.
I like peanut butter. Mm-hmm. I don't really care about chocolate that much anymore. I don't know that I've ever really cared about it that much, but yeah, I think it'll be a Kit Kat. I could do without.
Okay. All right.
So, universities. Remember we talked about this?
Yes.
Not the education part, but the athletic department. Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama. It's so hard.
Yes, because if you get rid of Alabama, then you all the football goodness.
Oh, so hard.
You get rid of Kentucky, it's all the basketball goodness.
Oh, my.
Florida has everything. And Tennessee would be women's basketball, which is near and dear.
What are you going to give up, Brian? What are you giving up?
Oh, my God. I mean, because if you get rid of it, then that means everything that has happened, it got dusted in the decimation.
Thanos
snapped it.
Thanos.
Ooh. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna make my brother-in-law mad, and I'm gonna say Alabama.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe that you're giving up Alabama.
Roll Tide.
So I would give up, and I may be missing something about their sports program. I would give up Kentucky.
That was gonna be my next one. Because
if you lose Alabama, you lose the Alabama-Auburn rivalry. There's no rivalry, and that's a lot. That's a big piece.
Yep.
I guess them trees will still be alive. The whole tree gate. But you can't give up women's basketball with Pat Summitt.
No, and that would have been like if I would have had to give up Tennessee, then I would have been like, okay, there will be other, but you don't know that there will be others because they were the first. Yeah, like we talked about when you brought up Lucy Harris a couple weeks ago. Delta State was their own little dynasty for their time, but Tennessee is the one everyone remembers.
And they were under AIAW or whatever it was.
Right.
So the Tennessee.
Yeah, but since 1982, when NCAA started picking up women's basketball. Yeah.
So, and then, of course, I can't lose the Gators, but then I was thinking like Tim Tebow. Like, could I imagine not ever seeing Timothy? I guess he would have went to another school, I mean, theoretically, but.
And that's what.
He didn't.
Could we imagine if Tim Tebow... I
don't want to lose the rivalry. There are other good basketball programs. I mean, Kentucky loves their basketball, but there are other good basketball programs.
There's Carolina. There's Kansas.
I wouldn't have... UCLA back in the day.
UCLA.
I wouldn't have been so distraught by not seeing Kentucky basketball.
Could you imagine?
And whoever else that I can't even remember them.
Mashburn. But no, could you imagine if Florida was gone and Tim Tebow went to Alabama? Because that's where he originally, I was
about to say that would have probably been a possibility. So, I mean, we probably still would have saw Tim Tebow, but it would have looked different. I don't know that Alabama would have had him running as much because he just don't seem like that's, what's his name, offense.
Right. Ooh, boy,
so that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
I think
we had did that a couple of weeks ago and said we'll talk about it next time.
Yes, and I have another good one. I believe another good one.
Okay.
And I know it's because you pretty much like we've discussed. You pretty much given up all the goodness in foods, but
I enjoy my meals.
But I think this one might pull you back because, all right, one gotta go. Peach cobbler, banana pudding, red velvet cake, sweet potato pie.
Peach cobbler.
You getting rid of peach cobbler?
Easy. That's just an easy choice. There ain't no ifs, ands, buts, or babies.
See, I would have given up red velvet cake just because, one, I'm not giving up banana pudding because that's my favorite dessert ever. Sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie pretty much hand in hand for me. But that's
let's we're gonna have to stop right there. We're gonna stop right there. You know when it has to read, they say stop right there.
Yeah, but that's only because of my upbringing.
Stop right there.
Now I've had sweet potato pie from others that will make me shut that right down because there's a difference.
Thank you. Yeah. We cannot put these together, even though they last name Pie.
Yeah, we
do not put these two in the same sentence.
There's a caveat. There's the caveat. Now, when I say sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie, and I'm talking about in my home and my family, there's no difference. Outside of my home,
there's a
difference.
Let me say the nation. I don't know that the rest of the world cares like the United States.
Right. Well, I just had to put that caveat in there because I do understand There is a difference, yes.
I'm glad you know that, because I was about to have to have a whole soliloquy.
There was a bunch of people listening right there and think that's just because he's white. Yes, he does not know.
I was about to have a soliloquy as to why I needed to educate you on sweet potato.
No, that you do not. Trust me, okay, I have had outside of my home. I know there's a difference.
Because I was concerned about you at the time. Well, I was.
But why peach cobbler was so easy for you? It's because I
love sweet potato pie, and those would be the two that I would eat. Mm-hmm. And if I had to pick between red velvet and I would pick sweet red velvet any day over a peach. I'm a peach cobbler, whatever you called it.
Baby, y'all can listen to this Florida Gator talk all you want and understand that she's not doing. She's throwing peach cobbler out because of Georgia peaches, and don't let her fool you.
It has nothing to do with that. Be very clear that. And I like peaches individually. The pie I could live without. Mm-hmm. I like cake, but I'm definitely not getting rid of sweet potato pie or banana pie. My grandmother used to kill them, put her foot in them.
Oh man, I
bring them back to life and kill them again.
I would do just about anything for a homemade banana pudding. I love banana pudding.
Man, get out of here. And sweet potato pie. I've been trying to find somebody that can make a decent one for a while.
Oh, I've had some good ones, some very good ones.
Because even though for a box pie, Patty's okay for a box.
It's not bad. It really is.
It ain't like when your grandmama used to make.
You need to find a way to catch up on the TV show Star, because Patty shows out in that show.
Let me just tell you right now, that's not going to happen.
I know.
Look, I got sucked into Blacklist again. I can't say sucked in because I initially started with Blacklist, but
I was about to say, you told me about Blacklist.
I fell off the wagon, and then I was up late Friday, and apparently that's when it comes on. Didn't have any idea. And I happened to have the TV on because of basketball. And I was like, let me see what Blacklist doing. And I was like, wow, I could get drawn back into this. and I really don't feel like I missed much. But I can't be up that late. They come on fairly late.
This Is Us just had their season finale, and it's still with the goodness. I'm rocking it. I'm still rocking with This Is Us.
I haven't been watching anything in particular.
The only reason I brought up Patty because you brought up her pies, and then Star and Empire come on tonight.
No, I enjoy Patty's acting. I liked her TV show. So yeah, I've enjoyed when she's been in stuff.
Oh, she's a real gangster in Star Wars. She plays.
Y'all got Patty right here playing
She plays Queen Latifah and Brandy's mother. Their characters' mothers.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's a gun.
I didn't know Brandy was on there. Of course, I haven't been watching it.
Yeah, her and Queen Latifah's characters are sisters on the show. And yeah, she's a gangster just like her mama. Yeah, boy. You got anything else before we sign off?
No, because it'll take too long.
We don't want to. We'll save it for the next week on our 91st episode.
Stop it. I heard. So you stop it right now, and I mean it.
Okay, I won't say nothing else about it until we get to 100.
Thank you.
You welcome.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
As always, one of your hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T God is Good Davis.
And this has been the Mac and T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mac and T Show. This is the Mac and T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mac and T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.
You can listen to the Mac and T Show podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, and TuneIn. Also,
be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Please be sure to follow our show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mac T Show. That's at TheMacTShow, at The Mac T Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to get all the updates and different things that might be happening with our podcast. You can email the show at the Mac, letter N, T Show at gmail.com. That's the Mac, the letter N, T Show at gmail.com.